Marie Antoinette was born on November 2nd, 1755 in Vienna, Austria. She later married Louis XVI, who was born on August 23rd, 1754 in the Palace of Versailles. Together, the pair helped provoke the popular unrest that led to the French Revolution and to the overthrow of the monarchy in France.
Marie Antoinette often lived a lifestyle full of extravagance and pleasure and led to the public's unrest. Although compassionate to the poor, her small acts often went largely unnoticed due to her extravagant lifestyle. Only 20 years old at the time, Louis XVI was immature and lacked self-confidence. He wanted to be a good king and help his subjects, but he faced enormous debt and rising resentment towards a despotic monarchy. His failure to successfully address serious fiscal problems would haunt him for the rest of his reign. Louis lacked sufficient strength of character and the decisiveness to combat the influence of court factions or give support to reformers in their efforts to improve France's government.
When Louis's grandfather passed him the throne, Louis was left with a lot of debt from the American Revolution and the 7 Years' War. To try to make matters better, he placed the taxes on the poor while the nobles and the clergy were still exempted from it. The economy also spiraled downward as prices for food and bread raised. And to make matters worse, he reinstated the Estates General, which basically gave more feudal power to the nobles and the clergy, which really did nothing to reform. Shortly after the Estates General was called upon, the delegates from the Third Estate created the National Assembly in an indoor tennis court, which became known as the Tennis Court Oath, and a Declaration of the Rights of Man was written as well. However, Louis XVI disregarded the reforms that were made, and the rich continued to enjoy gala banquets while people starved. So, anger led to action, and on October 5th, 6,000 women marched from Paris to Versailles and wouldn't leave until the king returned to Paris, where he would live in the Tuileries Palace. Reluctantly, the king did so and became a prisoner there for years. The National Assembly then formed the Constitution of 1791, which limited the powers of the monarchy, and a new legislature would have the power to make laws, collect taxes, and decide on war and issues. Back at Tuileries Palace, Louis and Marie tried to make their escape, but got caught and was brought back to Paris as traitors. Because their European rulers denounced the reform, a war broke out between the radicals and the rulers. Finally, the radicals defeat the monarchy by completely abolishing it in the French Republic. The convention finally sentenced both Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette to death, and both were beheaded.
Overall, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were the cause of the monarchy's downfall. They stood as symbols of the excesses of the monarchy and were fairly deemed as unfit rulers due to their blatant disregard to the events happening in France.